How many kids would have been saved if Kristen didn't do that? Freddy would have been done at that point. All the Elm Street kids were dead. Those are the ones he could haunt. You know, now he needs Alice. He should have never killed Kristen in the first place because he needed Kristen to bring more people into the dreams. But anyway, at the last minute, he brings Alice. Kristen yeets her power to Alice. Now Alice is basically the reason that all of her friends die around her because she keeps bringing them in. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Blood and Donuts. I'm Tony.
Chris, how we doing out there today? And how you doing, Tony?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you, Chris?
I'm doing good. It's funny. Each time before a show, we send each other a GIF of the movie that we're watching. So
yes.
I was scrolling up through memory lane, and we had some like good ones. There was like a Creep Show GIF that was funny.
Yes.
Scream 2 and Halloween 4, all during sequel September.
Yeah. I like the one. I like the one that you had for today with Kincaid getting crushed by a car. And then he has that the nice little one-liner and stuff. So
yeah,
and I of course I picked Freddy with the sunglasses on the beach, of course, for Dream Master.
It's the staple, I think, for this movie. The MTV Friday the 13th.
That's what
Nightmare on Elm Street, as I call it. Yeah.
A Nightmare on Elm Street 4, the MTV sequel. A Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master, follows Freddy Krueger as he returns to haunt the dreams of the last surviving Elm Street teens, then using their shy friend Alice Johnson to reach new victims. As her friends fall, Alice gains their strength and must face Freddy to end his killing spree. Why did I want to laugh when I was saying that, Chris?
It sounds funnier when you actually say it out loud. It's a lot better when you see that on film.
Yes.
It doesn't sound as weird as it sounds, I guess.
That's funny.
No, it's pretty weird. Like straight out of the gate. Like I remember watching it and I was like, who's this chick? She's like the main character. Why is she talking to our boys, our Dream Warriors from, the third film? Like what? They're just really buddy. Oh wait, that's Kristen.
That's supposed to be
Kristen.
Dude, I watched a couple different reviews and I talked to a couple of people when when they watched this, they were probably like teenagers or kids or something like that. They said they went halfway through the movie before noticing like, oh, that's supposed to be Kristen from Dream Warriors. Now, nothing against Tuesday Night, I guess her name is, but Patricia Arquette is special. She has a look, and she was a very troubled teen in Dream Warriors. Very troubled, couldn't sleep, very screamy, very just. I don't know how to
turn us against each other, so we'll be weak.
And she had great chemistry with her other co-stars
absolutely.
in that movie.
Absolutely. And she's a special actress, too. She's a very special actress. You've seen her in many, many things. She would go on to do many things. She's very special. So just hard to just replace her, and not notice.
Right. And it's really hard to pin down. And I think even she said it was just like, look, she wanted to do more substantial, more meaty roles at the time. Yeah. Because back then, even horror was considered like we don't really, you're not really very good if you're in the horror scene. But
I mean, like you don't see like Johnny Depp doing a Nightmare on Elm Street films or anything. You know what I mean? Like
right? No, that's for sure. You'll never catch a high-rated actor like that.
Yeah, you're not gonna get Heather Langenkamp in there or anything like that. So, no, but Tuesday Night, did you see that she recorded the music at the beginning, that first song?
I did. And this movie, man, it reeks of the 80s in a good way.
I love the soundtrack.
Of, like montages with 80s classics on there. Yeah. You got Sinead O'Connor. The Hands on Me. I want your hands on me.
Dude,
it's such a good vibe.
I pulled up the soundtrack. I've been listening to it to and from work since I watched this film. It's one of the highlights of this movie. Did you know that this movie it made $49 million at the box office, making it at the time the biggest box office A Nightmare on Elm Street movie at the time, up until like 2003.
Wow. And it was like the highest grossing horror film of that year too, which also featured some bangers, if I'm not mistaken, like Halloween 4.
Yes.
Child's Play debuted there. Chucky debuted with
Yes.
Child's Play later. So
Speaking of
cool.
Halloween 4, is it Rachel Carruthers in Halloween 4? She actually auditioned for the Alice, but she got the Halloween 4 role before, and so she pulled out of.
It's a good thing too, because she's great in that movie. Over there at the Revenge of Michael Myers. Or no, I'm sorry, that's Return of Michael Myers, Halloween 4, one of my favorites.
Yes.
And they had like 600 people audition or something like that. And then our girl went there and they were like, you're too pretty. So she went back home and like took her makeup off, came back, and then they were like, yeah, that's great. You did great. So she kind of nailed her second audition.
Yeah, and she also had to paint her or dye her hair red. Her name is Lisa Wilcox.
Okay, yeah, Lisa. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, Lisa Wilcox, and she had to dye her hair red because they didn't want people to confuse her with the Kristen character.
Gotcha.
So what are the good things? Let's talk about the good things of A Nightmare on Elm Street 4 Dream Master. What did they really nail in this one?
You make it sound like there's bad things.
We'll get to that.
No,
in a second.
I think the special effects still stand out. I would say 95% of them are fantastic.
So good. That fly trap scene. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And I was going to say too, this movie, I told you that my cousins kind of like forced me to watch horror movies as a kid. This one must have been one of them, because as the dream loop sequence and the fly trap scene was happening, or the cockroach trap scene was happening, I was like, I remember every bit of this.
Yes.
I didn't remember the classroom, but I remembered that. I remembered the diner picking out the meatball soul or whatever, and like,
so gross.
It's not the food here that'll kill you; it's the service.
It's
or whatever.
The service.
Like it's
so his zingers were like tenfold in this one.
Food don't kill you; the service will.
You know what I mean? He went from like, it was just zinger. Like everybody he killed, he had a zinger for it. And some of them landed, some of them didn't. I don't think they were as good as the Dream Warriors ones.
No, definitely not. But you could tell that Robert Englund, really kind of got into it.
Yeah,
he really enjoyed it, and he's even quoted as saying it's his favorite performance as Freddy Krueger in the movies. He quotes this.
I didn't know that,
his portrayal of that as one of his favorites, if not the favorite.
You can tell he's having fun. So
those are some positives.
You can tell he's having fun. Some more positives. Alice, I think she did good.
Sure, yeah.
I think she was good. I like the soundtrack. I like what you just said, and I like Robert Englund. I think he did a stellar performance. Again, it looked like he was having a lot of fun, and the special effects were really good. And I think they had a good story there, But the follow through, I don't know.
It's hard to portray, like, especially when you have those legacy characters. Now they killed, spoiler alert for 3 there, they kill Nancy at the end of 3, but in this one, it's like, okay, there's 3 leftover characters. One of them is recast. It is what it is. But they feel very rushed in the killing of the return characters, even for who you think is going to be our main girl,
Kincaid, and they killed Joey.
Yeah, Kincaid and Joey for sure. But then you get to Kristen, and it's like she just gets flipped into the furnace, and it's like, what the heck are you doing? Like,
and she like,
with Alice or whatever.
She like throws her power to Alice as a here, Alice, you're gonna need this. And
it
like
goes to Freddy, and then Freddy spits it out at her, and it's like, what just happened?
Yeah.
It's a weird thing to just kind of. It's like, here's the main role, and one of the characters dies in a furnace, and then the other one has to go on to be a dream master who can't really remember the poem or the haiku or whatever it is.
Yeah, so there's this.
Trying to remember.
That is weird. There is this poem that goes. That's kind of like it's central to the movie, but not really. It's like they only give you pieces of it, and like it's like Kristen is the first one who brings it up, and then Alice knows it somehow. And again, throughout the movie, she, as each kid dies, she's getting pieces of their talents or a piece of their person, but she's also getting some of their habits like smoking and stuff of the such. It just that part wasn't fleshed out. You only have an hour and a half. And it was so hard to flesh out every bit of, every single one of those. She had some karate skills that she inherited after her brother died. I mean, it's like and then again, the poem thing, I'm not going to spoil that until we get to spoilers, but it comes at the very end, and just like, she just kind of remembers because these kids say it that are in the dream world.
I think that if you had more time, or maybe spent more time explaining that portion of it, I think it would have worked a lot better, because upon like a second rewatch and just deep diving into reviews, you kind of can piece what they're going for. Like you just said, like every time a friend dies, she gets a bit of the friend, but it's a really quick, it's not explained, and it's just brief. It's like, okay, she can use nunchucks now. Cool. Okay. All right. Like, or is she just practicing? Like, I don't know. Yeah. She might have been practicing before.
Yeah.
But now she's apparently really good at nunchucks or whatever, whatever her power is. So, they just needed more time fleshing that out, like you said. And again, I think those legacy characters, the previous ones, they could have maybe hung around a little bit more through the film to help our final girls as they were.
It did feel like they were like, hey, let's kill the Dream Warrior kids and let's just move on to a new cast of characters because this is a brand new movie. It felt like that. But it also felt like, let's get a cast of characters that you're not going to care about if they die. That way Freddy can shine. I feel like this is the commercialization of Freddy Krueger. You know what I mean? Like, he is, the director even said, we're going to turn Freddy into a James Bond of horror, and there was posters of him in the James Bond eye and stuff. And again, we've talked about in previous, when we've done some of the other A Nightmare on Elm Street movies, that he had a hotline that you could call and talk to Freddy. He had his own, his own show. He had, there was masks, the commercialization, there was toys out the yin yang. He had his own video game. Freddy Krueger was absolutely everywhere. And this is where he starts to be the star. You know what I mean? Like, he is just full on zany Freddy, and I think it even goes even more in the next sequel. But Dream Warriors 3, I feel like, was the perfect balance of Freddy's zany and horror. I thought it was the perfect balance. But again, like, what do you do with a sequel? You're here to make money. It's the fourth installment. You can't just keep doing the same thing over and over. So I tip my hat at him for doing something different. This is very crazy. This is nuts. Some of those dream sequences, I'm like, how do you even think of this?
Yeah, and some of it's really well shot too, like the overhead when Kristen is about to like pass out from sleeping pills or whatever. It shows camera. An overhead shot, and she's spinning around, and the camera's overhead, and it's really ambitious shot. It's like, oh my wow, that looks really good.
Yeah.
So some of the stuff they nailed, but then some of the stuff they ran out of money. It's like where our friend Rick is in a dojo with blanket sheets everywhere, and he's getting killed by an invisible Freddy. You know what I mean? Like,
that's my favorite kill, actually.
And Kincaid also gets just stabbed. It's like there's two just stabs to the gut.
Kincaid deserved better than that, y'all.
He really did.
He deserved
one of the main stars of the third one for sure.
Joey, he was going to go out like that. I mean, come on. We saw that. We saw that in Dream Warrior. I mean, like, dude was just destined to go out like that.
What about our boy Rennie Harlan as the director, right?
Yeah.
So he went on to do some other cool stuff. He was a really young director at the time, and he kind of showed up a few days, and they were like shooting some of the film even before the script was done, and all kinds of
you can tell
crazy production stories. Yeah, you definitely could. Like, why couldn't we get Krueger and Rick in the same room for a little bit, just film his death real quick, just stab him in the gut or something.
Yeah.
But anyway, Rennie went on to direct stuff like Die Hard 2,
Yep.
Cliffhanger, and Devil's Pass is one of the movies in my little cues that I want us to review at some point. But
just don't Google Cutthroat Island. Don't ever Google that. It's one of like the worst blockbuster bombs of all time, and he directed that as well. So that people put that on the list of some of the one of the worst movies of all time. But anyway, it was just a box office disaster. My heart goes out to him. I feel bad for him. What a Nightmare on Elm Street 4 Dream Master really succeeds at was turning Freddy into the wisecracking commercialized star slasher that America wanted. Freddy takes center stage, and there's no doubt he's the star of the show. The special effects are some of the best in the franchise, particularly the fly trap and dream transition sequences. Creative kills and Freddy haunting your dreams remain a winning formula. The film crafts a highly fantastical storyline, though it doesn't always follow through convincingly. Alice is easily the strongest character, but her gaining the powers of the fallen teens is handled clumsily. Watching the Dream Warriors die is genuinely heartbreaking, and of course, the karate scene, Rick fighting Freddy in thin air, is as bizarre as it is memorable. I'm going to put this with number 2. I think it's a 7 out of 13. It's worth a watch. It's a good, I mean, like I said, creative kills, great special effects. It's a Freddy movie, so I give it a lot of leeway because if Freddy Krueger's in there, I'm going to have fun. I love watching Freddy Krueger. So it's hard to make a really, really bad Freddy Krueger movie because it's still awesome. And it's the 80s, the soundtrack, it's great. This is definitely worth a rent.
Yeah. And really, the Freddy character itself is still such a cool concept.
Yeah.
Wes Craven really did a great job. So, and this one for me is really hard to pin down. This is really Robert Englund at his best, and you can tell he's having a lot of fun. And we talked about the score of the movie. 95% of the special effects are just fantastic and on point. There's one like classroom scene where it looks really, really bad and digital, but it was the 80s. What can you do? And what lacks pretty bad is really just the acting. Let's not kid ourselves. Some of the acting from our mains is just pretty bad. It's hard to ignore. And you can tell this went on during a writer strike, and I think that took some points away. Running out of money just to film a person's death scene is pretty bad. But with all of that said, this movie is about Freddy. Some great 80s music, special effects. It's not hard to look past the missteps if you just focus on the fun. If you're here for Freddy, like you said, you're gonna have a good time. He's always a delight to watch. You know, like when he's on the screen, it's just like, yeah, you know, you're smiling.
Yeah.
And that's what you should do. You should go check this out if you haven't already. Take a trip down memory lane. I'm going to give the Dream Masters actually a 9 out of 13.
Nice.
I'm putting it up there. Just, you know, I'm out with the bad, in with the good kind of thing for this one for me. It was really fun to see Robert Englund at his best here.
So, and I agree with you. I think that's a great score, and I agree with everything you just said. If you were going to rank the 4 A Nightmare on Elm Street films that we have done so far, we have done 1, 2, 3, and 4. Where would you put them?
I'm gonna say, oh man, I love 1.
Would you put it above Dream Warriors?
I'm gonna say 3, 1, 4, 2.
Okay,
is what I would say.
I agree. I do 3, 1, 2, 4.
Okay, you're putting 2 in front of this one. That's interesting.
I think
we should probably talk after this. I should go back and watch it.
I think I need to. I like Jesse. I didn't think Jesse was bad. I thought Freddy was. I like a more dark Freddy, and he looked slimy, and and there was some cool special. The bus scene on number 2. Yeah. I don't know. I just thought.
The pool party scene.
The pool party scene pissed me off a little bit. I don't know. It depends on when you catch me. Yeah. And I might flip flop that in the future when we watch more sequels. But anyway.
Yeah.
All right, here we go, guys. We're going to go scene by scene discussion of A Nightmare on Elm Street 4 Dream Master. Kristen, Joey, and Kincaid have been released from the Weston Hills Asylum. They're now living normal lives, attending high school. Kristen has managed to make some new friends. Alice, a young, bright girl who is a frequent daydreamer. Sheila, a brainy girl with asthma. And Debbie, a tall, tough girl who hates bugs. She has also found herself a boyfriend, Rick, who is a martial artist enthusiast. He's also Alice's brother, Chris.
So, what do you think of our cast of killer fodder? Again, for me, real quick, Joey and Kincaid, man, I feel like if they had stuck around a little bit longer to help our girl, it would have been a lot better. And they even told their family and friends, they're like, "Hey, don't wait in line to get popcorn because you might miss our deaths. Like,
yeah,
we die pretty early."
I smiled when I saw them on screen. I was like, "Oh, there they are. There's Kincaid. There's Joey. That's awesome."
Yeah,
I love that. It is sad. To the opening, you got the opening credits here. You got a little girl drawing in chalk on the sidewalk. You got the Freddy house, and you got Kristen kind of walking through the nightmare, and she's getting the feeling that, oh, Freddy's back. So she pulls Joey and she pulls Kincaid into her dreams, which is obviously a frequent event because they're pissed off. They're like, come on, you got to stop doing this. I was in the middle of a good dream. And they even say, look, touch the furnace. It's cold. He's gone.
Yeah.
We buried him. What are you doing? You know what I mean? And all of a sudden, Kincaid's dog just kind of like pops out, bites Kristen's arm real quick, and then she wakes up and she's bleeding. So it really did happen, but weird scene there.
Yeah.
But I love the opening. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, and the music, which Miss Tuesday Night herself, like you said, sang it as she was a rising pop star at the time.
Rising pop star Tuesday
and
night.
really, what's funny to me is like she wakes up and she's like gets bit on the arm by this dog in a dream. She wakes up and she looks over at a mirror and she's like bleed. It's real blood gushing there.
Yeah.
And she just kind of covers it up with a blanket and goes back to sleep. I'm like, you might need to go treat that, honey. Like, go get some Neosporin or something.
Put some Robitussin on that.
Some gauze or something.
Lord,
put more tussin.
She just put the blanket and went to bed.
She went back to sleep.
I love that. Yeah, and then Krista rolls up to school, and then you meet your killer fodder, including a handsome young man. What, Dan? Is that his name?
Dan.
Yeah. And Alice,
handsome Dan.
Alice has this ability to like come out of herself and be spontaneous and sultry. And doesn't she have these out of body experience, these daydreams?
Yeah, she daydreams that she tells Dan he's a hunk. She daydreams telling her dad that, he's a piece of crap and things like that, make his own dinner kind of stuff. Because at home, Alice and Rick are, siblings, and their dad is single dad. He's kind of a jerk. He's like the dad from Black Phone, and we won't make the joke there. But anyway,
if you chew that cereal,
do you think you can chew that cereal?
Alice comes out of the house wearing like a yellow sweater, a button up all the way to the top, and a skirt past her knees. And she's like, "Bye, Dad." And he's like, "You're gonna go out looking like that?" Like she was like,
it really looked like she was going to like a church.
Yeah,
function
she was like
a bake sale.
Maybe he was like, "Take some of that off," like like. Maybe
it's
that's
hot outside.
Yeah, you're gonna wear that sweater. It's freaking burning up outside. That's funny. And then you got Rick, who's the brother. He just like comes out the window and like jumps. He wants to be a ninja. I think that's what they were doing there. I was wondering why he was coming out the window. I was a little confused. Well, like, is he part of the group? Is he a part of this house? It took me a minute to like put two and two together. But he wants to be a ninja, Chris. That's why he's like.
And initially, he just didn't want to talk to his dad.
Yeah,
like he's like, yeah, when Dad's hung over like that, you don't want to.
That's
don't
true.
want to talk to him, so he just comes out the window.
That is true. Kristen begins to have bad dreams. She feels as though Freddy has once again come back from the dead. During one of her nightmares, she pulls Kincaid and Joey into her dream. She explores the deserted Elm Street house. In school the next day, Kincaid and Joey confront Kristen about pulling them into their dreams.
I think, and you can just, I mean, they just don't really have the same chemistry as Miss Arquette, but it is what it is. We won't harp on it too much. But the big question here for me is, like, how do you bring Freddy back? Like, and it's going to explain it here in a minute, but you have to help me along because I couldn't really piece it together. And low key, one of the good actors in this movie is the dog.
Great actor. Great actor.
That is a fierce dog when it needs to be. I always love how they use animals in movies like that. But anyway, yeah, that's the big question for me is how do you bring him back? Because they're at school. They finally talk to her and they're like, look, you got to stop doing this. And she's like, yeah, but this arm.
Yeah.
And Kincaid's like, yeah, he's my dog. He's going to bite you every once in a while.
Kincaid wakes up one night, finds himself locked into the trunk of an old junk car. When he opens the hood, he realizes that he's in the same salvage yard that Freddy's body was buried in. Kincaid spies his dog, Jason. That's a nice little nod there, calling the dog Jason. Digging and then urinating in the ground nearby. Freddy then resurrects from the ground, after which a pile of junk cars crash down on him. Freddy quickly recoups and kills Kincaid. Later that night, Joey is also killed by Freddy in his water.
I like how they just tack that on Joey's. Yeah. Also, that Joey guy died.
Oh yeah, by the way, Joey died. Whatever. Joey talks a lot more in this one. He has more lines in the first 3 minutes than he did in the whole movie of Dream Warriors.
Yeah, it's like a footnote at the bottom, like, oh, also Joey.
Oh, also died. Freddy died. Yeah, Joey died.
But that's not the worst death in this movie, and it's actually a pretty cool visual. So he's right as he dozes off, he kind of glimpses his pinup poster, and then Freddy pops out of that. I used to have a waterbed too, by the way.
I did too. Yeah,
yeah, those were great. Like, why did we ever move on from those?
I remember, if the temperature was too hot, you would burn alive, and if it was too cold, you would just freeze your whole life. And I'm pretty sure they were horrible for your back and your spine and all that stuff. And we probably have issues from sleeping on waterbeds from when we were kids. But yeah,
that's why our hips pop.
Yes. But everybody had them in the 80s and the 90s. How about fire coming out of this dog's wiener and just resurrecting Freddy?
That's just an interesting thing. I just remember watching, because I messed up, and by the way, we had to rent this movie, so and I had to rent it twice because the first time I didn't finish it, and then I ran out of time anyway. So but the second time I watched it, I was like, I really didn't daydream that the first time. He really did pee on the ground at this junkyard, and Freddy comes back to life, which is done with a cool effect of like melting wax and clay and played in reverse.
Yes.
They bring all that stuff back. So it looks cool, but I don't get it. I don't get the dog pee thing. I just don't.
Imagine being the director and you're like walking through the hallways of the studio, and James Cameron, you run into James Cameron, which this really happened. And he goes, by the way, how are y'all going to bring Freddy back? And the director says, oh, this dog's going to piss fire on his grave and it's going to resurrect him. I would have liked to seen James Cameron's face, like when he was just like, he's like, oh, okay, right on, man, right on.
Like, how, yeah. But the fact that they cross paths and
right on.
Cameron's
man.
Like, okay, all right,
that's great. Okay, I'm gonna go work on Terminator 2 now. Hilarious. It is hilarious. Like, I mean, it's just so good. I mean, you can,
at least in when Jason comes back, he gets hit by lightning or something. Like, his lightning hits his tombstone and he comes back to life.
I mean, let's
believable.
I mean, Michael Myers getting shot that many times and then just floating down the river and
Hey, at least showed it. At least tried. Okay, he got blown back by the explosion. He switched masks with the rando EMT worker. Okay, they showed it.
Let's be real. What brings these characters back to life is money. That is what brings it. That is what resurrected Freddy. It wasn't dog piss. It wasn't like it wouldn't. It was money. If Dream Warriors wasn't just a freaking cash cow, then Dream Masters, the dog wouldn't piss and bring Freddy back to life. That's exactly what happened. Is money.
That is true.
The following day at school, Kristen's concerned with her friends when they fail to show up for class. She confides to Alice about nightmares. Kristen hits her head and passes out when she discovers both her friends are missing, being attacked by Freddy, but revived in time. After she learns of the deaths of Kincaid and Joey, Kristen goes to the actual Elm Street house with Rick, Dan, and Alice. Rick tells Dan the story of Freddy, and Alice reveals a part of the Dream Master spell. Alice suggests to Kristen that she is in control of her own dreams. However, Alice also looks down at the ground and sees something, a chalk drawing of the house that only Kristen has been able to see. Clearly, she senses something.
He does clearly sense something. I noticed that when I was
I wish they
watching
would have delved into that a little bit more or focused on that a little bit more, because it was kind of just like a passing, you know?
Yeah, it was. It was a quick like, oh, that's not there anymore. And if I worried about my friends not showing up to class, I would have died of anxiety a long time ago, right, Tony?
That's the truth. I did not show up to class. That is the truth.
But honestly, this, she's like, oh, the dream poem, it goes like this. And she like says a few words. And you're just like,
it's
what?
just a few words. What? And then like a little bit later, just a few more words. Like,
Kristen's like hanging on with anticipation. Like, and that's it.
That's it. Thanks. She ducks out.
You know what they say, Kristen? White water in the morning.
Yes. And that's it. That's so funny.
Up ahead. I think we should do the same.
I see no reason for concern.
Sir, an old saying, white water in the morning.
Yes?
That's it.
I love the ability of these kids to like see their friends die around them and them just to go to school the next day. You know what I mean? Like their ability to just like power on through like
the dad after Rick dies, he's like, Alice, let's go. We're going to Dairy Queen or whatever. He's like just ready to go. Yeah. He's ready to leave the kid's funeral.
Not only that, they bury all the victims together. Like that's what they would have wanted. They would have all the victims would have wanted to be buried right next to each other. Like
Nancy Thompson.
Nancy Thompson. Yes, you can see all of their names are there. It's so funny, and just like the like nobody believes Alice. Like teenagers have been dying left and right in this small town on this small street even for years, and nobody believes. Like he's like, God, your dreams. I don't want to hear about this Freddy Krueger anymore. Like Rick says it so many times. There is no Freddy Krueger. Like. That's
later on when they're like running away, it looks so bad.
It does.
He's running down the hallway. You should show a clip of that.
I need to. At home that night, her mother gives her a sedative to help her sleep. Was her mom, did she does not remember the first movie at all? Like, you know what I mean? Like, why are you giving your daughter sedative?
She was part of the people who like burned Fred Krueger back then.
That is true.
What the hell?
At home that night, her mother gives her a sedative to help her sleep. When Kristen falls asleep this time, on Alice's advice, she tries to convert the nightmare into a pleasant dream, but to no avail. While she meets a child named Alice in her dream, creating a sandcastle, even in her good dreams, Freddy appears and ruins everything. Kristen eventually finds herself in Freddy's boiler room. It's explained that Kristen is the last child from Elm Street, and Freddy needs her help to get more children. When Freddy is about to kill her, she screams for Alice, and then Alice appears suddenly in the boiler room, just as Krueger kills Kristen by throwing her into the fire. Before Kristen dies, she sends her power, the power to pull people into her dreams, to Alice. Before the power can reach her, it passes through Freddy first.
Can you do a cool special effect where I throw my power?
Yes.
At you,
and I
which
receive,
way you are,
and I receive it. I'll try my best. We'll see if I can do that. She just yeets
funny.
it there at the end. That she just yeets that power. You're gonna need my power. She's like covered in like black, like she's burning alive. I'm like
burning alive, literally. And then she's like, "Oh yeah, here, catch this."
How many?
Which goes to Freddy first. Like Freddy gets hit first.
How many kids would have been saved if Kristen didn't do that? Because Freddy would have been done at that point. All the Elm Street kids were dead. Those are the ones he could haunt. You know, now he needs Alice. He should have never killed Kristen in the first place because he needed Kristen to bring more people into the dreams. But anyway, at the last minute, he brings Alice. Kristen yeets her power to Alice. Now Alice is basically the reason that all of her friends die around her because she keeps bringing them in, or Freddy keeps bringing them in through Alice in some type of way.
Yeah, and like I don't even know like how the classroom one happens here in a little bit. It's like, I mean, I've been known to fall asleep in economics before.
Yeah.
So maybe I guess that's how it happens. She falls asleep in class and just
Yeah.
her friend gets pulled in on accident or whatever. But anyway, what about I was looking when I was watching the reviews and stuff. I was looking for the blade in the water kind of coming onto the bit. That looked really cool.
The shark.
So I'm just like, like the shark fin blade thing.
Yeah.
Where it goes through the water and then kind of comes up onto the beach.
Yeah, that was
the
pretty
explosion or whatever.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was cool how they just whatever they did there behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I kind of want to know how they did that. That's cool.
And then Freddy puts those shades on.
I forget his one liner there, but
yeah,
I like his one later at the restaurant. But he's got a bunch of them.
But like I was saying, like that. With this movie, you really can't. If you think about it too hard, it's going to make you mad. You know what I mean? If you think about her yeeting the power over to Alice, and like, man, like how many kids could have been saved and all that stuff. I don't know. It's one of those things in horror movies like you don't want to think about it too much.
Well, they say this one is really like it's either the last kind of good one before it gets too slapsticky, or it's already off the deep end. So it's kind of half and half for multiple camps of the fan franchise.
We might like the Dream Child the best. We don't know that, Chris.
Who knows? We'll find out. Hey, you know what? One thing I wanted to mention too is I would like to do for October. We ranked all the Halloween movies. I think either Nightmare on Elm Street or Friday the 13th. We should do the tier list.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that would be pretty cool.
I agree. A tier list for all the Freddy films. We're getting close. We're almost halfway through them.
Yeah, we're halfway there. Yeah.
Alice awakens immediately, realizing that Kristen's in danger. She turns out to be right as Kristen's room is on fire. As Alice tries to understand what has happened and who exactly this Freddy is, her friends begin to die. First Sheila, then Rick are killed while taking a test. Alice accidentally pulls Sheila into a dream where Freddy is waiting. The same thing happens to Rick later. Yet after every death, including Kristen's, Alice picks up a new talent and ability. She also picks up the dream powers of the children who have died.
And that's where you had mentioned it doesn't really explain that part very well. It's just it's a passing thing here and there. It's fleeting. You don't really know.
Sheilah's dead. Now I have asthma. No.
Now I'm a nerd who has asthma.
Why am I having a hard time breathing?
Instead of flicking the cigarette, she goes.
I like how I love how in like horror movies or like in Nightmare on Elm Street films, like they give each person a trait. You know what I mean? Like they gave who was the girl at the beginning? Like who like just there was a bug in her food, just inadvertently.
Yeah,
just
it was Debbie or Debbie.
She goes, "Ew, a bug," and she was like, and you have to lock that in your brain. Oh, she hates bugs, and like, oh, and she works out. She's a bug hating exercise girl, brainiac with asthma, and then Rick is like the Karate Kid boyfriend. I don't know. Yeah. They all get their little
jock.
Yeah, they all get their little traits. So Sheila's death, really cool. Freddy comes in and he goes, "You want to suck face?" gives her a nice smoochy smooch and just basically sucks the air, and she kind of deflates, which is a really cool special effect, I think. And then in real life, she's having a horrible asthma attack, and she ends up passing that way. Rick gets on a elevator.
He's on the turlet.
Yes.
And then cheerleaders come in and whisk
yeah.
him into an elevator.
Yes.
He goes down to the 13th floor. Elevator goes down, yeah. And I think that the elevator scene was supposed to like crumble and send him into some bottomless pit, but apparently that's where the budget thing happened, where they didn't have the money to show that. And far be it from me to judge a production team of a movie, but I think you could have done something.
Yeah.
Besides hanging up some blankets and sheets in a room and having my man fight an invisible Freddy.
Yeah. It's pretty bad.
But
it's pretty bad. Yeah. I heard that they already had filmed his funeral. So they had to kill him. Because they would
just leave all of that out.
How about like him like the
Rick lives.
How about the casket like popping open and him going, "Hello, baby."
Hello, baby.
What is that about?
During her daydream,
Yeah. It's so cringy. It's a pretty cringy part.
I love that. I love it. It's so bad. It's awesome. Hello, baby. Like you can imagine the director was like, what if just, we're running out of money. What if Rick dies? He goes, yeah. And just trash that whole hello baby casket scene. I don't think so, guys.
Yeah. It's already shot. It's
already shot. I mean,
already edited.
My hands are tied here, guys. I'm not leaving that out. The people are going to want to see that. They're going to want to see that scene.
Or imagine after filming it, and then he just like cut. All right, that's lunch, people. That's great. And like, it's like, what? Wait, people are like, what? Hang on a second. That was real?
That was real. I thought we were playing around here. You're like, no, that was it. That was great. That was perfect. Thank you. That was great.
Gosh.
She is obviously Freddy's supernatural opposite. Obviously, Chris.
Obviously she is.
Albeit too weak to truly conquer or even resist him yet. After his death, Alice teams up with Dan Jordan, who's one of Rick's closest friends. Together with Dan, Alice tries to get to Debbie, their last surviving friend, before Freddy can find her. Unbeknownst to the two teens, Freddy is able to control their movements, trapping Alice and Dan in a time loop dream. Freddy is able to reach Debbie and kill her by transforming her into a cockroach and trapping her inside a roach motel and then crushing her before Alice and Dan intervene. You can stay. You can check out, but you can never leave. Little Hotel California quote there.
He fumbled the Hotel California because he's like, you can check in, but you can't check out.
Oh, maybe,
or something.
Never mind.
He like messed it up.
You can check in, but you can never wait. Hold on. Wait.
But yeah, you know what I meant. But the whole time loop thing is really fun. And Robert Englund did say that's his favorite sequence in the franchise. He loved that time loop thing where Freddy just has them running around. And I remember like watching it a few times. I'm like, I thought we just saw that. Like it's one of those things where
it'll freak you out.
Where you're like, is that an editing mess up or something? Like what happened there?
Yeah.
So it's really, really cool.
Clever
to do that.
Very clever.
And then all that time that's going on, you have poor Debbie who firstly she's benching, right? And it's a cool reflection. You see Freddy in the plates on the barbell. You can see his reflection there. It's pretty cool. And then, he's above her, going to give her a spot, but then nope, he pushes it down and just her elbows just pop out of her. Ugh. It's a rough watch, but it's really cool.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the string.
Yeah.
It's the string.
It's one of the better special effects in the franchise that I've seen so far. And then her arms turn into cockroach arms. And she's like running, and then all of a sudden she gets on this like, obviously a roach motel has that like sticky sticky paste at the bottom,
Yeah,
that glue that traps these bugs, and like she gets trapped into it, and then all of a sudden her face gets trapped, and it rips her face off, which exposes this cockroach face. Oh, so good. And you can see Freddy's eye looking into the motel like he just caught a bug, and then just ooze comes out. So good. It is such a good scene. I would have liked. Does it show her body after or no? Because I would have liked to see that.
He just crushes it up and throws it out. Yeah. But really well done. Really cool.
Yeah. Alice and Dan, they wreck the car here. Following a car accident where Dan's injured and rushed to the hospital, Alice returns home to prepare for one final battle with Freddy. Alice goes to sleep to help Dan before Freddy can kill him. As Alice and Dan search for Freddy, Dan's injured. Alice wills him awake right at the moment the doctors wake Dan, and he's pulled from the dream world. Alice is facing Freddy alone, attempts to use all of her newly absorbed abilities against him. All I saw was karate. Lots of karate to the face.
Okay. I was making sure you caught the same thing I did, because that's what I saw.
The fight is relatively equal, except that she has a mortal body and he has not. He's eternal, Chris, giving him the advantage of immortality. It's an advantage that proves nearly too great for Alice to overcome.
And you already took away my karate kicks joke, but I like how it said like they were equally battled. Like, no, he was just laughing.
He was
the whole time. But like, look, let's not talk about the Dream Master poem or how Freddy gets killed by a mirror here in a little bit. Let's just enjoy the special effects.
Yes.
Of that roach scene. You know, let's the rest of the movie just, and later on even too when Freddy's getting ripped apart. Let's just enjoy what's coming up with the special effects, because the story part of it really doesn't. It's kind of stupid.
Yeah, and like Dan is in the hospital. He's like, no, don't put me to sleep. Don't give me no sedatives. Alice is riding with him in the back of the ambulance, and she like takes the dude's sedative needle and like throws it on the ground, kind of thing. And then he gets to the hospital. They have to put him out, and while he's under anesthesia, he's brought into the dream world. But Dan's really not a lot of help. Alice goes home and she's like putting these boots on. She's putting chains on her boots. This is her full form. This is her final form. She's evolved through the whole movie. She started out as shy Alice who couldn't even tell her dad that, tell him what she really thought. She's bringing him dinner and stuff, and he's like, well, what am I supposed to do with this? I've been working for 11 hours. You know what I mean? She don't say anything to him, but now she's like,
what am I, a rabbit?
What am I, a rabbit? Supposed to eat this? But now she's been absorbing these powers. She's telling her dad to go screw himself, and she's running away from him. She's like, she's doing all the things, and now she's sitting there in front of the mirror, which she had all these photos up where you couldn't even see her face. Now she's ripping those down. She's looking herself right in the eye. She's loving what she sees. She's got her Karate Kid, Rick's Karate Kid thing. She wrapped that around her and stuff. And like she could do the nunchucks.
Sheila's Ghostbuster trap thing.
Yeah,
or whatever that
she's
is.
got the Ghostbuster trap from Sheila. That's weird that they just kind of threw that in there, but it's just weird stuff that they throw in there. And it's an hour-and-a-half movie. There's a lot of characters and a lot goes on. And so a lot of it does feel rushed, and you're just kind of like, oh, okay. But I can imagine being 11, 12, 13 years old and this being my favorite Nightmare on Elm Street film. I can imagine that.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it was a huge success too.
Yeah.
But you really don't feel the sentimental attachment that I guess she does to all these like items or whatever. You're like, oh yeah, that's the headband from the karate dude, and that's the spiked bracelet from the workout girl or whatever, stuff like that. But did you notice? So I was watching those deep dives earlier or whatever, and did you notice that like it said when she pulled down some of the picture, because it was like "See you in hell" or "Greetings from hell," from a postcard from Freddy. But when she looked in the mirror, they said that like she looked more put together in the reflection than she did in the real world. Did you notice that? Or
I did notice that. No, I didn't know. I would have to go. I'd have to go back and look at that.
Either. But when I watched it on the review I was watching, I was like, wow, okay, maybe they were going for something there. Like the more she's taking down stuff from her mirror or whatever and sees more of herself, she's finding her badass part or whatever.
I mean, she looked more like a badass to me, but she looked like she had a little bit more makeup on, like she was looking a little sexier, stuff like that. But I didn't see anything crazy or anything like that. But she goes down to the dream world and she's fighting Freddy. She's really getting some hits on him, but again, like you said, he's just just kind of like laughing, and then she shoots that trap through him, and he just heals right up.
Wipes it away.
He goes, "I'm eternal," that kind of thing. So there, and then he's just kind of like smacks her, and she goes flying across the room. It doesn't look equal to me. It looks like she's
not very equal.
Yeah, it looks like she's
but
way over her head.
Does he need to kill her, or does he want to keep her alive?
That's what I'm thinking.
That's
what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, like, why would you kill Alice? Because you kind of need her.
Yeah,
we need each other.
She's the one sucking all these people. Yeah.
She's the funnel, that brings the souls. He declares that he's been guarding his gate for too long to be taken down by her, but just as he is preparing to kill her, she recalls the final verse of the Dream Master spell. For the first and only time, someone defeats Freddy by using the power of the spell to make him see the evil that is inside, using her power as guardian of the gate of good dreams, which Kristen never was, and nor was Nancy. Alice releases the tortured souls that Freddy imprisoned into the gates of good dreams where he can no longer harm them. Krueger's clothes fall lifelessly to the floor. The film ends with Dan and Alice at a fountain. Sometime later, she tosses a coin in and makes a wish, and she and Dan depart. She decides to keep the wish to herself as Freddy's image appears in the ripples left in the fountain from the tossed coin.
Call me crazy, but and you're gonna laugh at me, but I feel like the chemistry was actually pretty good between these two.
It wasn't bad
between Dan and Alice. Like they were running through the loop together, and they were going through the hospital stuff together. So they had some pretty good scenes with each other. So and them ending up as a couple was just fine in my book. It wasn't overly cheesy or anything. So I did like the ending, and of course you can see in the reflection. Moneybags Freddy is there's going to be another sequel after this thing. So and they were nervous about the release. I know the director was, but after the first weekend or whatever, all that was done.
Yeah, they said Robert Shea would come to the set. Obviously, he played. You saw his little cameo as a professor.
Yeah, as a teacher.
Yeah, but as a teacher, and but they said Robert Shea would come to the set, and he wouldn't even speak to the director. He was like so pissed because dude kept going over budget, and he's like, and he didn't really understand what he was doing, and he was like, this guy is totally wrong for this and all that. But he said he changed his tune, and he was a lot nicer to him after it made gangbusters amounts of money. So they were friends after that. But so down in the dream world, she finds a piece of mirror. She remembers these little girls who were like saying this chant, and she remembers that if evil sees itself in its reflection, it dies, or something like that.
Yeah.
So she pulls up a mirror, shows it to him. It blasts him against the wall, and to be honest with you, it almost let the souls that were trapped inside of him at that point kind of take care of him. It wasn't just the mirror; it was kind of like these souls start breaking out. You start seeing all the people. You see their faces like pushing through his chest and stuff. Thought it was a pretty cool effect there. Arms are like tearing through him and stuff like that.
Yeah, ripping him apart.
Yeah. When you see Kincaid's face as like the ghost of Christmas spirit, like going, like floating by the window and stuff like that, that's not that cool, but whatever. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like a glow, like.
Thanks, Kristen.
Thank you.
Thanks, Alice. Thanks, Alice. We're on our way to heaven.
That's so funny.
But yeah, man, fun watch, fun 80s.
It is a fun watch.
Special effects. I mean, you gotta love the effects with all of the movies in this franchise for sure. And Freddy as a character is just so cool. I think haunt you in your dreams. I've always loved that concept. So this one was pretty fun. For
Oh
me.
yeah.
I tried to do. I didn't want to just come in and be like, "God, these actors sucked," and the plot didn't make sense. I want to be like, Freddy was funny and the special effects were good. So I was trying to be more positive here, Tony.
Yeah, I like it. I agree. It's a good movie. Anytime you got Freddy Krueger in there, I'm going to watch it. And I'm probably going to enjoy it. So yeah, this is a good entry, and I had a lot of fun with this. And I think I can see why this is a lot of people's favorite A Nightmare on Elm Street film. It's definitely if you were of that era and you grew up watching this, I can totally see it. But until next time, we'll see ya.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.